What is going on, everybody? The Original Mako back with some more Borderlands 4 content, and today we have a Vex build that is not the Bleed build that you've probably seen going around all over the place because it's insane, but it's a Minion build that's pretty fun and exciting. It's the build that I worked on throughout the campaign, and I've tuned it up a little bit in the end game, and I got a pretty fun one phase against Indicator Soul on Ultimate Vault Hunter 1, but still pretty cool. It's a good build. It's exciting. It's fun. And maybe you want to try something that's not the Bleed build on Vex. I don't know. But here we are if you do. But before we get into that, be sure you check the links down below. As always, Twitch links down there if you want to watch me play this game live or any of the other games I play live on there. I'd really appreciate it. Go check that out. And just started a new TCG channel. The link there is in the description as well. Having a ton of fun. The support over there has been great. So if you're interested in trading card games at all, go check that out too. That'd be super cool. But anyways, that being said, let's go ahead and get into the Vex build here and talk about it a little bit. My setup's going to be slightly different from what you see in the video, but the important things have remained the same, which is the skills. But I do want to talk about the arguably most important thing first. Whatever fight you're going into, whatever boss fight you're going into with this build, just make sure you have the right element for the boss. You've got fire for flesh, you've got cryo and corrosion for armor, and then you've got radiation and shock for shield. So just make sure you've got the right one or two elements you might need. Obviously for soul, he's all flesh, so I had this thing. But the reason you want to have the right weapon is because if you read Dead Ringer, which is obviously the action skill we're using with the Spectres here, it spawns a minion choosing Spectre or Reaper, and the important part is that the damage type matches Vex current attunement when spawned. So if you have a fire weapon out, then they're going to be fire minions. If you have a corrosion weapon out, they're going to be corrosive minions, and so on. That's the type of damage they're going to do, which means against Soul, the fire minions will do a lot more damage to him because they're doing fire damage as opposed to kinetic. So just make sure you have the right element equipped. Outside of that, another pretty important piece to this is finding a knife that gives you the damage amp. There's another knife I want to get that I haven't gotten yet, and I'm hoping to farm Callus tonight for, as of the time I'm recording this, yesterday, as of the time you're watching this. But it gives damage amp and I believe auto crit for a certain amount of time, which is important for something else we'll talk about later. But the damage amp on its own is kind of a really important part. So you get 10 seconds of 15% increased damage that the enemy takes. Super useful. Outside of that, I mean, obviously you want to look for class mods that help your skills. This class mod is very specifically good for Indicator Soul. As you can see, it's called Burning Fire Dancer, so it gives us a lot of fire effects that I don't have skill points in, so giving me extra fire effects as well as ordnance cooldown rate and status effect damage in general just made it a really good class mod for Soul specifically. But make sure you look out for class mods that might give you some perks that you need for certain fights, and just keep them in the bank for whenever you want to farm certain things. So this one was pretty important, and we'll talk about the skills that it gives us in a second. The shield is different from what I was using before, and I believe I think this was the enhancement I was using, but just increased gun damage and increased gun accuracy, as well as SMG status effect chance, but that was less important because the SMG I used in the video after I did all the other stuff, the setup, was kinetic damage. So that's pretty much the important part in terms of this setup here. There's also some rep kits that increase damage dealt. That gives you damage amp. Those are good as well, obviously, just for more damage. But let's talk about the important part here, and that is the skills. So, if you're doing a Spectre build, specifically, because there's Grim Reaper if you kind of want to do a Reaper type of build. But if you're doing a Spectre build specifically, I have really enjoyed using Dark Pact because it's getting double augments is super nice, and it massively amps the fire rate, the damage, Fire rate specifically is kind of a big deal because of something we'll talk about in a second. But you restore all your minions' health. They get movement speed if it's a Spectre or a Reaper, and then attack speed for everything. And they don't lose health over time while Dark Pact is active. And health loss is reset when it ends. So important to note, enemies can still damage it, but it doesn't tick down over time like it normally would. So super nice, very useful, and obviously a very important part of the build. If we look at the two augments I'm using, I'm currently using Wither, which it's a minion skill. Spectres cast Wither on an enemy when they spawn, dealing status effect damage over time and increasing damage taken for a duration. It can stack once per elemental type. And then kill skill, killing a withered enemy allows Spectres to use it again, but giving it damage over time is nice and all, but really it's the 30% damage taken. So it's a 30% boost to the damage you do for 15 seconds. Pretty damn useful. Coven is the other one that I'm doing, mainly because we're using a lot of Spectres. We don't use a lot of Reapers, which is the melee one. But spawning a Spectre grants Vex and her minions crit chance for a duration. The effect can stack. If you want to do the Reaper, it gives health regen for a duration. But the Spectre's the important one. So if you're spawning 3 of them, you would stack 30% crit for 20 seconds. Pretty good. Pretty good getting 30% crit. Now, you might be thinking, okay, crit's good for more damage, but why else is crit good? Well, here's why crit's good. Curse. So Vex's melee attacks apply Curse to hit enemies, making them take kinetic damage anytime they take gun damage. So every time they're hit with a gun from you, the Spectre, it doesn't matter, they're taking additional damage. So this one below it, extra cursed, curse damage now triggers on minion melee damage. So if you have a Reaper out, it'll afflict curse, but we didn't use a Reaper. But it deals increased damage when it's triggered by a crit. So it does plus 200% damage when you crit. So the curse, every time a Spectre crits, you crit, it's dealing plus 200% damage. That's why you want the crit chance. Because the damage can go crazy with the curse plus the crits. And when I was doing this, I tried it where I had you can only summon 3 minions at a time. So I tried it where I summoned 1 Spectre, or 2 Spectres and 1 Reaper, so the Reaper could apply curse and I could just shoot. I don't think that's the way to do it for a single target. I think the best single target damage you can do if you're running Dark Pact is 3 Spectres, put them into overdrive mode. Well, I guess 3 Spectres, stab the enemy to get curse on, put it into overdrive mode, and then throw your knife to get the extra 15% damage on top of it. So that's kind of the biggest part of this build. And obviously at the end of this video, you're going to see the one phase that I had against Soul. But making sure you have curse. Once again, I'm level 36, so I'm not max level. So there's a couple other things I want to put some points into, like making sure these get maxed out. But anything that helps with like fire rate, Grave Assault's a kill skill, but it also triggers on death if you have this. So anything for fire rate, gun damage, anything like that, super important. Ancient Rites will get you a decent amount of damage as well. Obedient Fiend is just more minion damage. Anything to pump the damage is going to help you rip through big enemies. And I do want to point out where I'm going next with some of my action points is I'm going to fill out this part of the green tree here. So Grave Sights is a kill skill that gets increased crit damage and gun handling, which is it's pretty good, but for single target, not that good. But that'll unlock Grave Implements, which kill skill, Vex and her minions get increased gun damage. But the big thing is getting to target prescience, which is a passive, where Vex's gun damage deals crit against any part, or gains crit chance against any part of enemies. So now you don't even have to hit them in the head or whatever their crit spot is to crit. You can get crits on body shots. And for the Spectres and for you, who might not be critting a lot if you're trying to, dodge stuff, whatever, Super, super good, really useful, and a ton of fun. So that's where I'm kind of planning on taking this build next to get it to the next level. But those are the key pieces for this build. Now, right here, you can see, you know, this little symbol showing that this is what my enhancement, my class mod, is giving me. So it's giving me +3 to the burning attunement. So while Vex is attuned to incendiary, Vex and her minions gain crit damage and status effect chance. The crit damage is the important part there. Getting 3 notches into this, really, really useful. Reverberations, melee damage dealt by Vex or her minions has a chance to deal incendiary. That's okay. It's not crazy. And then Burnt Offering, Vex gains increased incendiary damage and incendiary status effect damage. So that's why in the video you'll watch, I was using the flamethrower that I had equipped as much as I could, because we're getting all of these effects as well, and it was super effective against Soul anyway. So just a ton of damage we were able to pour in. But yeah, that's where we're at for this build. Once again, I plan on keep trying to get the knife that lets me auto crit and getting these skill points up so I can make this build even crazier. But I wanted to make this video to give you guys a decent minion build. A lot of fun with the specters. I want to definitely do a Reaper build at some point, see how crazy we can make the melee damage, because I think there's a lot of room to make that go crazy. But yeah, let me know which build you're having the most fun with right now in Borderlands 4. Once again, check out the links down below. I appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoy this quick little clip from the one phase. And yeah, hopefully you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy. I will catch you all in the next video. Peace. 3-3. All right, we're good. All right, let's see if we melee him, if we can one phase. I don't think so, but we'll see. Let's go! We got the one phase. Come on. The melee did in fact work. It did. Oh, and we got... Is that a legendary? Oh my god, and we got the legendary drop. Come on. We earned it. We earned it, I think. Damn. Still not better than the one we have. Hello? Oh, it's another shotgun? Oh, scraping gore master. I'm gonna hold on to it, but I don't think it's anywhere close to as good as our TK's wave. That was cool though. That was a really, really good one phase. And now I'm trying